Davies and Davies, welcome back to another week of Talking Trophies. Make sure you guys do hit the subscribe button, like, if you're listening on the audio podcast, and mostly if you're listening on Spotify, give us a 5-star. And I know you're driving. Most of our Spotify listeners are drivers. So make sure your eyes are on the road. Switch off the video podcast and jump onto the audio. Just tap on the audio so you could focus on the road. We don't want someone, getting into a car, a Div or Davey getting into a car accident. And last thing that was, before the crash was, they were looking at a video of how Rayvo looked when he said something. We don't want people to get into accidents. 10 and 2s on the road. But we got an important guest this week. He was actually teaching me some skills. He was teaching me game. He was teaching me game before we even started the pod. We literally got here like an hour and a half ago. He was teaching me how to edit. He was spitting game. And I learned quite a bit. It's Bol from the Seed Network. Thanks for jumping on, man.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad you learned some things beforehand, and I've learned so much from you guys as well. So thank you so much, and I'm glad it worked that way.
Yeah, nice, man. How you been, man? How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I can't complain, honestly. Very good, very happy. On the kind of chill vibes at the moment. We finished off a video, another documentary. So just kind of slowly taking some time off of editing, but unfortunately I have to go back into it. And we've got a couple of events coming up soon, and still making content, obviously, trying to keep African Australians or people of color in Australia entertained, showcasing people, folks, stories. So yeah, that's keeping us busy. So but yeah, busy, but a lot less busy than filming a documentary.
Yeah. Because the first time I seen you in person, I think that we had the chat, was when I went to the Father's video, the one for Most Social Impact.
Yeah.
And me and Damien, I think Most Social gave us a ring and said, come past. And we went and saw that video. Amazing. Amazing video.
Yeah.
It's Father's Day today. So that's how I actually thought of you, because I was like, that was a great video. And I heard of Father's Day. And now every time I think of Father's Day, I think of that video.
Oh, man, that's amazing. That means so much. And I'm glad that you think that, because that's Mo's, video. And I hope it reminds you of Mo more than us. I hope it reminds you of how amazing a father Mo is.
Yeah.
And that's what we wanted to showcase.
Yeah, right? he's a friend of Talking Trophies.
Yeah,
he's a friend of Talking Trophies. We got Somali Steve here as well. Somali Steve, he was here for the first recording of last week's episode, and then we stuffed up the SD cards like we do every fortnight. And he missed out on the other one, but yeah. No, we needed you. We needed your perspectives.
100%. It was great to meet you as well. So
yeah, Somali Steve, not on the camera, but off camera, great guy. We don't show him on the camera.
Somali Steve is a crack up name. I love it.
It's an elite name, yeah. You thought of it?
Randomly, 5 minutes before the
Yeah.
come up with the habit name, and I was like, thought about it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Somali Steve's hard.
Yeah, I need a name like that. Pseudo Bol.
Pseudo Bol. No, it's got into this thing. You got to go pseudo and then like a name that doesn't have anything to do with pseudo. So like, I don't know. Let's just go. You know what we've been talking about diversity and stuff. Let's just go pseudo Nguyen.
Pseudo what?
Pseudo Nguyen. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Shout out to my Vietnamese friends out there. I'm from Richmond, so I think I probably could get away with that.
Yeah, shout out. Xin chào to all our Vietnamese listeners. Hey, what's so important about content? Why do you think content's important?
Man, I think content is very important because we don't realize how much things we consume get planted in our heads and our subconscious mind. So I think if we could be a part of creating content that could subconsciously plant positive things into young people's minds, I think that could be really good, and it could be really helpful for the future. When you walk out of your house every single day, people spend billions of dollars each day to try to get that in your brain, try to get something in your brain. So obviously it's hard to compete with a billion-dollar company, but that's why content is so good, because we don't have to find them outside. They could be in their houses, on their phones. And I think, content is awesome. And also is, if you do it right and if you find a great niche, is AI proof as well. You also consume it all the time, so might as well be a part of creating it as well. But I'm just an addict for creating content. I'm obsessed with content. I love content. I love people that are brave enough to get out there and make content. Content is king, man. I think content is going to be, and it's also such a great way to make content to leave stuff for your siblings, or for your kids, or for your grandkids, or for kids, for people in the future when you're not around to be like, oh, you know, what did my father do? What did my parents do? It's, oh, they did this or they did that, and they get to see it. And, you know, we get to see our family members through photos. We don't know how they sound or how they moved, what their mannerisms were. So that's why, you know, depending on what content you make, I guess, that's why it's so awesome to make content. You know, it lives forever.
So my great-grandchildren are going to go pull up the video of Dr. Uma Johnson on Talking Trophies. So they're gonna be like, so how, they're gonna say to my grandchildren, so how was great-grandpa Rayvo? And my grandson's gonna go chuck on a video of me interviewing Dr. Uma.
That's awesome.
And they're gonna say, his kid's wild.
No, but that's awesome because honestly, like, you know, when I sat down with my mom during COVID, that's what kind of started this whole thing that I do. She helped me realize that, like, who I am was exactly like him. So I was like, oh my God, that makes sense now. And I felt so much more comfortable.
Like who?
Like my uncle, my grandfather, actually. So my mom's dad was like what I do now, very like creative, loves to learn, loves to build, had like a farm and loved growing stuff and all that. So because I had these feelings that I didn't know where it came from. So it was so good to hear from my mom. So that's why also so good to create content for anyone or any kids that might not understand why they feel certain ways or why they are the way they are. It's good to be like, oh, that's just like grandfather or grandma or whatever.
Yeah.
So
You have like a love for storytelling. What is it about other people's stories? Like telling other people's stories, like getting them to tell their stories.
yeah.
What is it about it that got you got you into that?
Like I said, I think it started out with my mum. You know, she would always tell beautiful stories, and that was so awesome because it was so powerful, and it reminds you of things, and it keeps you grounded. It teaches you value and all that stuff. So that kind of started off with like my love for stories, just hearing stories from my mum when I was growing up, but also the importance of being heard. I love, you know, when I was growing up, I was always like a class clown. I talked all the time, and now I want to, you know, listen to people because it's so important to listen to people because so many people don't get heard. So many people are so smart, so intelligent, so much to share, so much wisdom to give, but no one actually has time for them to you know, hear them out. So that's another reason why my niche is kind of awesome because everyone has got something to say. Everyone's got a story. So you can never run out. It can never be saturated because there's always different types of stories. But also how many people can relate to specific people's stories and journey and stuff like that. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of have a platform where people could share their stories or you could read about their stories and be like, oh my God, that's what they went through and they overcame that. I'm glad that what I'm going through could also be, I could overcome that as well. And yeah, you know, us African folks, we live through stories. You know, we grew up through hearing stories and just try to live that on, I guess.
You know, I think that's how history was written.
100%.
It's all storytelling. Like if you think about it, like it's all
100%.
like generally this written thing just started like it started, but like it wasn't as big. It was always orally. Like things got told by stories.
Oh, man,
and you hear about like legends and all this. It's all stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, at the same time, I love stories. I love a good oral story. But we got to start writing things down. You got to start documenting things down.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's because there's always that one aerator. There's always that mate that tells the story and he adds 6. It's Chinese whispers. By the time the story gets to you, you know what it's some outlandish, like my like when they told me about my grandpa or something, and they tell me he was such a great, respected individual. He probably was. But some of the stories my aunties tell me about him, I tell them, tell me some stories because, you know what I mean? The guy had 12 children. So obviously the older ones lean more towards him. And I'm just like, you're just exaggerating half of this stuff. He wasn't that great. You know what I mean? But then at the same time, it's like, it's good. It's good that they're telling the story. It's beautiful, you know what I mean? And like, it's good that I have this image of him, like this grand principal of in a city that was pushing for education and probably exaggerated a little bit, but it's a good story.
They also say, don't let the truth get into, I don't know how they actually say it. I don't know what the actual saying is, but don't let the truth ruin a good story or whatever.
Yep.
So, you know, like don't deep it too much. If it does the job, if it inspires you, and it's not harming anyone.
Yeah.
And, you know, let it be. It's a bit tricky when, you know, it's completely, you know, over-exaggerated and you've got, Rufus Lion, then that's a different story. But yeah, if it's something just to add a bit more flavor to inspire people, to make them more, of a proper figure, I think that's that's
Stories are important. Like you think about it, it's like generally how society used to be. It's just like you sit around the fire,
100%,
sitting at home.
Yeah.
From now till then, even movies are stories.
100%.
They say 98% of human history was preserved orally. So most of our history is actually oral.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. So 2% is written.
Yeah.
Think about that. How much of what's actually happened in the world, the stories and stuff have been forgotten, lost,
Yeah.
unknown to us.
100%. And that's why it's so powerful now. Like obviously, it's good to document and write it down, but this is beautiful. Like we could document it by recording it, audio.
Yeah.
That's why I love this podcasting. That's why it's grown so massively, because this is documentation. And now you've got what they call a vodcast, which you can also video and, audio at the same time. So there's a video podcast on top of that. That's beautiful. There's so much ways to document it.
So the Deves and Davies listening right now know I've never said nonsense. I've never aerated. Everything I say is facts. You go back and see who I was from the first video till now. I haven't lied to you. You know what I mean?
Respect.
And I've been unfiltered. So when you hear my story in the future, just know Rayvo told the truth. But tell us, tell us your story.
Yes.
Like I did have a glimpse. I'm the best journalist in Australia.
Respect.
I say that. I believe that. I looked into, born in Khartoum.
Yeah.
Lived in Egypt for a bit. Came to Australia in 2004.
That's correct. Did your research, my man.
What's your story about? Like, how did that influence you? Obviously, you moved around quite a bit, that means, because you were saying, from young to moving to Australia in 2004, you probably moved around quite a bit.
Yeah. No, we did. My story started in Khartoum. I was born there. My mum moved from South Sudan to Khartoum, which we were lucky enough to be there because we had family there as well. So when I was born, you don't remember much, obviously. I don't remember much about Khartoum. So as soon as I was 3, we moved up to Egypt. And I remember a bit more about Egypt. Sometime now, I'm figuring out whether it's real or things that I just made in my mind. So that's why, Mum's really helpful, because you kind of double check. It's like, did I really do this? She's like, bro, you're dreaming. Oh, that actually happened.
Yeah.
But what I remember more about Egypt, and Egypt was awesome because I was a child. So I didn't see the negative parts about it growing up, because I was just with my uncle at the time. I would always be home watching TV, watching movies. That's probably also why, my love for storytelling. And I wanted to be a filmmaker when I was younger. Where it came from, I think, just being with my uncle and enjoying a bunch of movies and TV shows.
Silsila.
Yeah, watching Adil Imai and all those guys.
Captain Magic.
Yeah, 100%. And then, when I came to Australia, it was awesome because the transition from Khartoum to Egypt to here was a lot easier because we kind of had, access to like TV and certain things that we kind of knew how to operate when we first came to Australia, and kind of didn't know too much English words, but enough to kind of get by. But honestly, I had such an amazing time because I was such a child, for me personally, but obviously my family members and my older siblings had it harder because they went to school there, and school was hard for folks.
What is it, like the discipline?
Just the discipline part,
yeah,
and then also the bullying as well. Being a South Sudanese person migrating up to Egypt, so the kids would just bully ruthlessly, bullied my siblings, my older siblings. But yeah, for me, I was so guarded because they were always there to protect me. They were like the Trojan horse for me. And so I respect.
It's a good reference.
Yeah, it is, and that's what that's why I try to tell young people. It's like, man, our older siblings, when they first came here, they went through so much stuff for us to kind of be protected. That's what my siblings did when I first came to Australia. I didn't have any bullies because they were too afraid to bully me because I had an older brother and an older sister who was a nut job, but it worked out. I love them both, and they literally helped me get a really amazing experience both in Egypt and when I was in primary school before they left, graduated. Then I had to figure out myself. Yeah, but then it was awesome. But that was my story to Australia.
How important are siblings? How important
for me?
Yeah,
man, very important. Siblings for me was so important because when we were in Egypt, we entertained each other. When we first came to Australia, I remember when we first came to Australia, when you move into a house and you don't have any, there's no lights or you don't have any electricity or anything, so we would just stay up all night sharing stories. Mom would tell us stories as well. funny stories. But having siblings, man, I think it's so beautiful.
Was it like bedtime stories and stuff?
Yeah,
Like,
bedtime stories.
Like, would your mum come in the room, tell you bedtime stories and stuff?
Yeah, man, I remember
Yeah.
when I first came to Australia, when we moved to Reservoir, and then after that, we moved to Preston. I remember in Preston, we didn't have lights for like, I don't know how many days, but we would get candles, and we would all sleep in the living room. And the mum would just like tell us all these beautiful stories, and it was just awesome. It was just like, it's
beautiful,
beautiful. It's like such a beautiful way to like just entertain each other. And and that's why I loved, having siblings, because they would tell stories about like, oh, your older brother used to do this and he was that. And I was like, oh man, that guy's crazy. I think siblings is so awesome, man. I'm so blessed to have a big family.
Do you think you got that love for like storytelling, like from your mum? Like
100%.
influence from your mum, like that, how you were saying, like she'll tell you stories and stuff, going to bed as well.
110%, for sure. Like she is such a great storyteller. She's a great speaker. She knew how to motivate people. She also knew how to discipline me without actually physically hitting me. That's what I loved about it. Because I wasn't a bad child, I was just a little, because I was like a little miskin, small little kid. But like she was really good at psychologically making me not do bad things, and she also, and I love that. I love the power of that, just by telling me stories and by speaking. I love the fact that like she just, and I don't know how it worked, but she just, every time I'd get into a situation where I had the option to do something bad, just that voice, and I was just like, oh man, I'm just gonna move away from that. And that was so powerful to me.
That's my dad.
Yeah.
That's my dad when it comes to like, I'm about to do something bad. I'm just like, I'm not trying to explain this to dad.
Man.
I'm trying to go home and explain this to my old man.
100%.
But like even the storytelling, I experienced something similar growing up. Like my mom used to tell us stories as kids, It's a funny story, but we used to go, because I used to go, I was saying I went to St. Michael's for primary school. So from prep to 2, and I was so we are a Muslim family, and I went to a Catholic school, but I was really good at like religious studies.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I knew how to read that Bible as a kid. Like, I remember I still had, like, I have a vivid picture of the Bible. Like, it was a colorful one, like pictures and stuff in it. So what happens is my mom would come home and go, like at night, we'd go to bed and she'd tell us stories about the prophets and stuff like that. Obviously like Islamic stories and stuff. And I'd just be sitting there like, Mom, that didn't happen. Let me tell you what happened in the Bible. I was like, no. This is the story. But like, I remember just growing up and like me and my brother would sit down and like go to bed, before going to bed, I don't know, like would ask our mom to tell us a story. And I just, I forgot about that, man, until you just brought that up. And it's such a beautiful experience. And I'm like, I can't wait to do that for.
That's another thing as well. Like, that's what I love, what you said there. And like, when we look back at it, like, oh, those are the very wholesome moments that we had. And that's why like I can't wait to have kids as well and be able to tell them these stories. Because, man, I never realized how important it was. But, when you watch a movie back in the days when we were growing up and, white folks are reading bedtime stories to their kids and stuff like that. That's what I want to be able to do when I have kids. And also I really encourage any people of color that are writers and stuff like that, or to make children's books. So when we do have kids, we have books to give them.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a really good. That's a good. Why don't you tap into that?
Well, we did do that for a while. We did children's books.
Yep.
And it was fun, but it's just very time consuming.
Yes.
Yeah. So we had to figure out what was more valuable and important for us, and what we want to put our energy into. But I really loved the children's books idea. We did a couple, and yeah, that was so fun. But yeah, I'll probably leave that to professionals, people who actually really want to do it and have got it published and stuff like that. But I really encourage people to do that, who are thinking about it, because there's a need for it. Yeah.
Tell us about the Seed Network.
Sure, you want to know about it?
That was a good layup question. Like, you see, I'm trying to improve my journalistic skills.
Yeah, I love
it. Tell me about the Seed Network. It was meant to be like, you elaborate onto it, but that's a good, but what do you want to know about it? Of course, I want to, like, the story behind it, why, obviously the name I understand, it comes from a seed, it grows, but like, why the seed? Like, why, what, are you trying to hear people's stories from like scratch? Are you trying to tell people stories from like the bottom up? Or is this for the Seed Network's a name for yourselves where you want to grow? It's like, we're growing.
No, the Seed Network, actually, the name was more philosophical. And around during COVID when I started the company, I was really into like philosophy, really into like meditations, really into psychology as well, and the importance of the brain and neuroscience and stuff like that. And I really loved the fact that how important it is to control how you think, but also to control what you let in your brain, in your subconscious mind. And I had this idea of like, man, imagine, I just had the analogy of our brains being a complete land. And as we got older, we were able to plant things in our heads, and we nurtured it, and we grew it, we looked after it, and it grew into thoughts, it grew into who we were. And when I started from scratch, in 2020, I had this philosophy or this analogy of, I'm going to start from scratch. I was in the middle of my brain, and it was just a base, like I was in the world full of just soil, and I got to start from scratch. And I told myself, this is my new farm. This is my new acres of land that I'm now going to be very mindful of what actually planted in my brain and in my field. And I'm going to be very more protective and have security guards around my farm, which is my brain. And what I want to plant in there are things that are going to make me better, make me a better brother, a better son, a better friend. And I want to do that for other people. So when I had the name for the brand, I was like, I want to call it the Seed Network, because I want people on the show that will definitely plant seeds into young people's minds. And the network part is obviously just a TV network, but also to network with other people as well. But yeah, our goal and who we promote and who we have on and who we talk to, all people that we guarantee or believe that will plant seeds into young people's minds that would positively impact them. So yeah.
You say here, amplify the voices, stories, and leadership of people of color in Australia. Why did you specifically target people of color?
Well, everything started when I was in high school. When I was in high school, I didn't have anyone to look up to that looked like me or was not white. And so I wanted to have a platform for now people in high school who are 15 years old to go and jump on that platform and scroll through and see, oh, there's so many people I could look up to. There's so many people I could reach out to and see how they did that. And yeah, I just wanted to amplify, because another thing I realized was no one's doing that. I had this idea for probably like 6 years and public 4 years now. But for the first 2 years, I was like, man, like, why can't anyone showcase all these amazing people and talented people in our community? Why aren't, people focusing on this? And I know a guy who's killing it in this game and is doing this and is doing that. And I waited for 2 years and no one was doing it. And I was like, I got so annoyed. And I was like, man, screw this. I'm going to do it. And I did it because I really, really, really want to. And this was during COVID as well. So, not COVID, just when I had this idea was during the whole Apex, gang violence, stuff like that happened. So I was like, man, I know you guys reckon pseudos are all bad people, but I want to showcase amazing pseudos as well, Sudanese people that are doing amazing stuff. And that's another reason why I kind of started off with that. My first 10 episodes in my bedroom was speaking to pseudos specifically to teach me about the culture, to teach young kids about what else is there to do, to kind of make them love their culture. Because I think that's what happened. A lot of kids didn't love their culture. But yeah, I just wanted to help promote people that are doing amazing work that look like us and share their stories, basically. Yeah.
Do you have a team?
Sorry. Yeah, we have a team. We have different teams for different things. We have a sports team, and then we have a media team, and we also train a lot of young people who are wanting to do storytelling, who want to become content creators. Then we work with our social media team, so people help us out with who we could promote, who we should share, stuff like that. So we do have a team. Majority of the kids that we have on the team are from Richmond, where I'm from.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you obviously lead those teams, so you manage those teams.
Yeah.
Where do you think you develop those leadership skills?
So that's another thing I think from my mom, because my mom's story in general was incredible. She, left her first husband, like basically snuck out of South Sudan because she had this crazy vision to try to bring us here. And in South Sudan, to Australia, yeah. Or just to bring us to a Western country.
Yep.
And back in the days, that was like, man, you must be crazy, especially for her. She had, kids, was pregnant with me. And they were like, man, you're crazy. Like, how do you have this vision to go for it? But she just had the leadership. She led us through Khartoum, led us through to Egypt. But also another thing that kids don't realize is, when our parents first came to Australia, we didn't know anything. these mums and dads spoke no word of English. They got us into schools. They spoke to our teachers. They went and got jobs. They spoke to people that took care of houses. They went to Coles and Woolies and bought us, or Safeway back in the days. Safeway. You know, they figured it all out. That's crazy. You know, we were just like, Mom, what, you know, but for them, they were like leaders. They just led through and just got it done. And I don't know where the leadership comes from. So I think I never thought I was a leader because I was always youngest in my friend group. But now that I'm the oldest in my friend group for the first time ever, it's like crap. Like I have to figure it out. So I kind of just figure it out. Just try to teach whatever I could teach and try to help out in any way possible. But also like, man, there's no one way. Like I'm also learning from these kids. Like these kids are people that I look up to and learn from. Like, oh, what, you know, what's hot? What content is happening? Like these guys are I go for them for advice, and I go for them for ideas, and I go for them for knowledge and what's happening, what's popping. Like, yeah, it works both ways.
Yeah, it's a funny thing, us first generation people.
Yeah.
Because it's never let's do a leadership course. It's either you got it or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's either you got friends or not.
Yeah.
It's either like you're someone that can think for themselves or not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's either you're successful. There's no like, hey, I did a course where no one does that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really into like, I believe in courses and stuff.
Yeah.
I think we do like, of course, I believe there's leadership. Some people are just born leaders. You know what I mean? Like my dad always says this famous line as kids. We used to say this to. He used to say, "Are you a sheep? Are you a follower?" Like whenever we do something wrong, like let's just say if me and a group of friends we do something wrong, are you a follower? Like, and that inclined me to be like, you know what? Let me do my own thing. Like I don't have to be following everyone. I can be an outer lie, whatever. I can be a lone wolf. You know.
Can I ask you a question? Because it sounds like your dad was such a big impact for you. Like, what were the values you reckon he taught you to make you become who you are now, and to also have the leadership traits?
But he did that. Like if you look back at it, he does the oral things.
Yeah.
Like the oral. Like for example, like one massive one was coming home late from young. Don't come home late. He used to have this thing where his mum told him before he came to Australia from Africa. She said, whenever it goes dark, nothing good happens. I said it to you before. Nothing good happens when it's dark.
Yeah.
You know? And then he said that to us and we implemented that. And also like telling us don't be followers and stuff. But also I have an older brother who like really is like independent. He does his own thing.
Yeah.
You know? So that inclined me to like push like my own way and do my own thing. And I think me and all our siblings, if we're all in like sync, we're cool, but like all of us have different personalities. No one's the same as no one. Everyone's on their own vibe.
Yeah.
You know, it's really interesting, like the dynamic of our household, but like everyone's on their own vibe. Like we're not the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think,
though.
and obviously hard work. I think that's one thing my dad showed me. Like he used to take us to work with him. He used to work as a cleaner, and he used to take us when we were like 12, 13, and we used to work with him. And I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not picking up. I'm not going to the hospital. You know what I mean? After office hours, and I'm not cleaning up someone's bin.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. Respectfully, if you're doing that, Davies, do it. But I said, I'm not doing that at the age of 12, 13. I said, I can't do this. You know what I mean? And that's what pushed me. Like, I'm like, okay. And I think that was more of a practical thing. I think he wasn't probably able to articulate himself, obviously because I'm born here, he speaks Arabic. You know what I mean? Like, my Arabic was pretty broken at the time. So I didn't really understand him. You know what I mean? I'm like, what is this guy saying? What are you talking about? What's this Arabic you're saying? What's this Arabic you're speaking in the great land of Australia?
How's your Arabic now?
Ahsan me. I'll probably say like 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
أقدر
Mine's
أتكلم.
a good 3 or 4. Actually, that's another thing as well. You know, my mum gave us all this beautiful opportunities. She's also a cleaner. But when I first came to Australia, she chucked us into Arabic classes. And I was like, I don't want that Arabic class. We're in Australia right now. We're not going to be speaking, Arabic. And now I regret it, but I'm learning a little bit now. But it's awesome that you could speak.
I went back the first time, like I started getting it was like 2018. I went to Sudan.
Yeah.
And it was like 5 weeks of just like no one knows English. So it's constantly, I'm like, let me just talk. And then what happened was when I started speaking, I'm like, and obviously because I went and saw my father's side of the family, I got closer with them. So I got to connect with, I never knew them. These are the guys that used to speak on the phone. You know what I mean? You know when you get the scratch cards, you call them. Mom gives me the phone, my dad gives me the phone. Hey, talk to my sister. I'm like, hello, Kef, guys. Like that was my, you know what I mean? But then you get to meet them.
We're Garouche.
Yeah. But like, come on, Izzy, you know, like, but like, I went there, 2018. I got to meet them, and I was like, oh my god, these are the most amazing people.
Yeah.
I was like, I love these people because my whole life I was really close to my mom's side of the family. But after 2018, I'm like, I love these people. Like, I really got close with them. And then I started speaking Arabic. Like 5 weeks, like 5 weeks. Yeah, 5 weeks.
In those 5 weeks, you reckon it went from like 6 to 7?
No, it went from a 3 to a 6. Like I was on your level 3, yeah.
And that's what I love about that. How, because I'm thinking about going back. Most of my family members now are in Kenya.
Yep.
So I was planning on going back because I think that would be such a beautiful experience to actually see where all the donation, all the money that mom sends back home is going to. One thing just for evidence, all right. But also I think the main thing is to kind of just get that love and just that feeling of like, wow, this is my people. This is who we are. How was that for you when you went back there? Like that would have been like an eye opener.
So yeah, I landed. I remember landing there. It was a long drive back, back to the house. So we went to my grandma's house. But she's not here, but the family still live there.
Yeah.
And bro, I just remember my dad's sister giving me the longest hug and crying.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I'm like, bro, I'm not an affectionate person. You know what I mean? But like in that moment, I'm like, oh, okay. But she's like hugging me. Like when I say hugging me, like it was like a good 2-3 minutes, And she's just crying of happiness. And then my grandma's sister was there hugging me, same thing. And I'm like, I don't even know these people. Like I heard your voices, I heard your names. And then I'm like, what? And then just after that, like spending time with them, I'm like, bro, I love these people. Like, yeah, like I get it. Like they actually they love us. And I'm like, because they love my dad. That's their brother. That's the older brother. That's the one that went there, that came. I'm like, yeah, the house is pretty pimped up too. You know what I mean? We got a toilet. You know what I mean? Like it's fairly pimped up, But like I'm like, oh, and he really loves them. He calls them every day and stuff like that. And just going there and seeing this like love, I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And then from there, I'm just like, and since then I went back again to Egypt this year just to see them. But I talk to them on WhatsApp now and stuff. I have a connection with them. But like, yeah, you realize you're like, man, there's people out there that actually love you.
Yeah.
Family that love you. And I'm cool, my cousins too. You know what I mean? Like I got one cousin, she's probably like one of my favorite cousins now. That she's like an older sister to me. And just seeing her, she's like, just imagine like kicking back with someone for at 3 a.m. She's like your oldest cousin. She's 2-3 a.m. You're just talking. And you didn't realize it until you're like in that moment, you're like, oh, this is amazing, and you're looking back at it. It's a beautiful thing.
And honestly, I feel like that's like final form of being a human being. Like just actually genuinely loving someone, generally caring for someone, generally interested in someone to the point where like time doesn't even matter. Where you're like, oh man, it's 4 a.m. and we're still just talking, wanting to get to know each other. And there's no fakeness. There's no like, what can I get out of you? There's nothing like that. I think that's so beautiful. Pun? 100%. Yeah. 100%.
Even me, like for me, like whenever I travel overseas, you end up just kicking it with someone.
Yeah.
From like the other side of the world, and you're like, damn, like this is cool. Like just grabbing the feed, having enough. Like I remember when I was in Bali, I was like, it was like the night before scuba diving. So I just went, I'm like, let me have a quick dinner. I went and got a steak, and I'm just eating and just met some French guy and an Indonesian guy, and we just started chopping it up. And before you know it, they're like, oh, hey, we're closing the restaurant. It was like 3.5, 4 hours. And just chopping it up, talking about life, And then I'm like to the guy, by the way, how old are you? He's I think he was from Tonga. I'm like, how old are you? He goes, 39. What? I was like, 39? He's like, how old do you think I was? I'm like, I thought you were like 30 at least, like at most, He's like, 39. I'm like, damn, bro, you age good, bro. But like those experiences, like that's what, like talking about the oral like communication and storytelling, that's really what it is.
And that's what I love about it. Like I think the most important thing about like those kind of conversations, because like you're actually not, you're not talking to respond to them. You're actually talking because you're listening. You're like, I don't know this person. So like, man, everything you say is so exciting and so fresh and so new to me. And that's what I love. Like that's why when I have conversations with people, I go in the conversation in a way of like, man, I'm just like, I'm in awe. Can't wait to hear your story. And I love that. Those are the best ways to go into a conversation instead of like, I can't wait to tell you what I know about this fact and that and blah, blah, blah. Sometimes depending on what the conversation is about. But when you generally just have a conversation, you don't know about anyone, you don't know where it's going, and you just go on and have this conversation, generally asking questions back and forth. It's so beautiful, man. And it's way more memorable that way than having small talks at a party or at a function, and you're just wasting time and energy.
So what, like, do you think like every conversation has to be a deep and meaningful conversation?
Have to be deep.
Like, I love a good small talk conversation.
Yeah.
I like talking about the stock market.
Well, for
sometimes.
me, okay, I tell you this. I don't really like or care for small talks. I just prefer to sit down and want to actually get to know you. Like, not just how you're doing. I was like, hey, how are you actually doing today? how was your week? Like, what was your highlight of your week? What's something you're proud of this week or this month? You know, I love to ask those kind of questions. I don't like, hey, like, I don't know what kind of conversations. I find that boring to me. Those are all boring to me. I really love actually peeling the layer off and actually just getting you comfortable enough to feel comfortable that, like, I actually generally want to hear and generally curious about your successes and your achievements or your little goals that you set for yourself. Like, I love those. That's my favorite kind of conversations because they actually, I get more out of it than you. You know, that sounds weird because people might be like, but why? What do you get out of it? I was like, man, I love seeing people just so happy to talk about how they feel, you know, their goals. And that makes me so happy. That's why I love doing what I do.
I get everyone has a story to tell, but is every story worth telling?
But you just have to.
True or not? Well, like the way I delivered that was hectic. It sounded so bad, but like that. Is it really?
Yes, every story is worth listening to because not just them specifically, why they're the way they are. Who is their parents? What were their parents like? You know, what was like? Sorry, guys. Everyone's story is worth telling. Like even the most craziest people in the world, it's also it's fascinating to see why they are the way they are. Because if we get to hear their stories, we can maybe prevent that. So we have to kind of listen to everyone's story in order to prevent something from recurring. So that's what I believe. I believe everyone's worth listening to. As everyone's worth hearing their side of the story, and you just have to be kind of good at figuring out what questions to ask, the right questions to ask. Obviously, you make them feel comfortable, and so you know when I talk about asking these kind of questions, I don't just pull up at a party to you and ask you, you know, all these deep questions.
The way you're explaining it is like, let's just say we're at a gathering, you just pull up next to me. Hey, how are you? Yeah, good. What's your name, Rayvo? Just tell me something about you. Just, what's your weaknesses?
Yeah, but I prefer that. Like, I prefer to pull someone away and actually have a cool conversation. Like, I'm that type of person. Because, like, if you don't want to have a conversation, that's fine, you know? Because I don't want to have a conversation that I don't want to have, which is talking about stupid stuff. So I'd rather talk about what I want to talk about. If you don't want to talk about that, that's fine. We both win because we both don't want to talk about this. So why does one of us have to sacrifice one thing or do something we don't want to do to make someone else feel good? No.
Like the social dance. You know how you, like, for example, the workplace.
Yeah.
You're going to do a little bit of a little dance with the people because you're not really on the same level as everyone else.
Yeah.
So small interactions build up to bigger interactions as you get to know them and things like that. Like, do you enjoy that sort of environment?
Elaborate a bit more. Like, what do you mean by that?
Like when you go to, say, for example, a workplace, right? Or you go to any place where you got to meet like 15, 20 people that you interact on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You're not going to be close to every single one, right? So you know how you have different social interactions with different people. Do you enjoy that sort of environment?
Look, what I could say is the reason why I love talking to people is because I want to learn something from you. That's my main goal. Anytime I speak to anyone, my main goal is like I want to learn from you. So that's why like when so any interaction I go into, it's like, man, like, oh, this person could teach me something. That's how I go into it. So yeah, I think that's just my answer is like, yeah, I just love talking, but I also would love to talk knowing I get something out of it. Like, I don't want to talk to you and at the end of the day, we just talked about like, oh, I kind of have given an example because I haven't done that in so long, you know, but like, I want to walk away from a conversation. It's like, man, like, you know what? That was such a great conversation, man. I learned this, or that was inspiring to me, or that's awesome to walk away from the conversation like that.
But don't you just want to like,
no,
don't you just want to,
I don't have time.
like, do you know what I mean? Like, no. For example, let's just say, I want to be brain dead sometimes. My life is like, genuinely, I work hard weekdays.
Yeah, but then,
and then I come here and then I have to prepare an interview.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
a fire interview.
Yeah, but my brain dead is that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what? That's my brain dead. My brain dead is like, man, like, just like being a child at a candy store, like listening to people.
Yeah.
Like, that's my brain. I get so high of learning from people. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I used to not do it. I used to not ask questions because I'm like, oh, but now I don't care. If you don't want me to ask you questions, I just walk away and go find someone else that would love to teach me something. That's my goal. When I was in high school, my number one goal in life was because I couldn't afford to pay to learn. So my goal in life was like, I'm going to get paid to learn. And that's what I do now. Like, I'm so grateful that I get to sit down and ask questions, make docos, learn, and get paid to learn. That's what I want to do for the rest of my life. Nothing else. That's why I don't have, because I'm old enough to have had all those draining, wasteful, brain dead conversations. I already had those conversations.
You've had those balcony convos, at a
And it's not
party,
even-
and you're just like, bruh.
Yeah, it's not even a bad thing. I'm not saying having those it's not a bad thing. Like I think just we all have different things we like to talk about. Honestly, like me and my boys, we love talking about football. I'm a Chelsea supporter, so like I love talking shit about Arsenal and Tottenham and all this. Like
What?
that's I know you're a Tottenham supporter, but like those are my brain dead conversations.
Yep.
Talking about WWE, talking about Marvel, talking about comics. That's like when I'm like not on interview mode. But other than that,
But you enjoy those, yeah? Like
I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
But like I still, because like honestly, my main goal with any conversation is I want to learn something from the person.
Yep.
And if I'm gonna force it out of you, like if I couldn't get anything, it's like, man, tell me something about your country. Yes, at least I got one thing.
Okay, yeah.
And then I could go home and sleep peacefully.
Yeah.
If I don't get anything off you that I could learn, then I'm gonna keep hitting you out until I learn something from you. That's who I am as a person.
Yeah, no, it's a very valid point. Yeah, 100%. I think it's a good way to look at life.
Yeah.
And you're just constantly learning. It's something to wake up to.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be something so deep as well. Like people think when I say that, it's always deep. Like, man, like even hanging out with you guys today, I've learned so much already. And like I'm set. Like I can go home now, I can sleep peacefully.
Yeah.
But if we didn't have that
After the Al Jannah?
yeah, definitely going to Al Jannah for
Guys,
sure.
hey, listen. Look, after we smash out this Aristotle conversation, we're getting philosophical. That's the word.
Yeah.
And then smash Al Jannah, and then
100%. See, that's what I like to hear.
that's a good wrap up.
Yeah,
But
that's a great wrap up.
in a world where we're filled with Channel 7s, 9 Newses, Fox News, Sky News, constantly bombarding us with stories, how are you changing the narrative?
Man, that's a great story. And that's a great question, man. And I think, how I'm doing it is I'm trying to do it the best way I could do it. And that's another thing I think people need to realize. It's like, you don't have to do it the same way as everyone else. My way of doing it, I think, is to, like I said, plant seeds and to put these people as well that are doing amazing work up there and try to beat the media. And my goal is, I've traveled before. I've been to Europe and I've been to Asia. And when I went to Europe, specifically London, I think now they know there's more African Australians. But when I was there, they couldn't believe I was from Australia. They're like, what? There's folks out there? I'm like, man, there's
What
a
year
lot
was
of
this?
us. So this was probably the people I was speaking to were very much older. They didn't believe it. But my first time going there was in 2023. And then I went again. No, 2022, my first time I went there. Then I went there again last year. But yeah, my goal is to basically beat the negative narrative before it gets to the world and want to have a positive narrative. Because like no one really knows about African Australians that much. So we have to beat the media by showcasing as well. It's like, yeah, I know you've seen negative stuff, but look, there's also a page that like highlights and goes against completely what the media is showcasing. But look how much more percentage of amazing people are there. And that's like my that's how I'm playing my part. My part is to beat Australian media from getting to place I want to go to. So when we go there, for example, a place in Asia, I want to be able to be like, oh yeah, you guys are African Australians. We heard you guys are really cool. We've seen this page and there's so many awesome people there. That's what I want to hear. Instead of like, oh, you're African Australians. We heard about you guys on the news. You don't want that. So it's a tough gig because the media,
Guys, the way the media is pumping out content, you see the content the media pulling out, guys.
Yeah.
They get CCTV. They got advantages. They got CCTV
Exactly.
footages.
So,
they got helicopters. They got the cameramen out. You know what I mean? And that's what we're up against. You know what I mean? We're up against the system.
That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be easy, but like it's not going to be. The best way is to start. That's how I'm playing my part. My part is by starting it and just slowly just chipping away at it and slowly growing it. And one day it would happen.
So sometimes we get backlash, yeah? As I've told you, we're pretty unfiltered. We talk. We just talk. And we talk about things happening and we try to be as honest as possible. We get sometimes a bit of pushback for highlighting negativity in the African community sometimes. You know what I mean? Sometimes we chuck on a bit of an accent and we start talking about these Africans that are getting sent to this country. And you know, the Daves and Davies know this is a character. We're doing a character whenever we chuck on the accent. But we get a bit of backlash for it sometimes. Do you think, like, things like, is it wrong to highlight the negativity sometimes? Because it is an issue rather than just being like, I think a lot of the times people are like, there's no issues. Stop pushing their agenda and stuff. I'm like, there is an issue here. Like, there's clearly issues. Is it wrong to highlight the issues?
Like I said, there's no such thing as right or wrong as long as you believe you're doing the right thing. And if there's a plan and there's a strategy to why you're doing it, then it's completely fine. No one has to understand exactly what you're doing, why you're doing straight away. If you have like a plan and a 10-year plan, then that's fine. They don't have to know, but eventually it would make sense if that's the case. For us specifically, we don't promote anything, or we don't highlight anything negative at all. And that's because of the brand, it's the C Network. We are planting seeds to showcase positive things. That's just who we are. I know there's a bunch of negative things happening recently. And also, we're not the right people to talk about that as well. But we specifically highlight and promote positive stories. And yeah, whether people like that or not, that's up to them. But we are strictly promoting positive things. But to answer your question, no, as long as you've got a reason and a plan to do it, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we just have the conversations because it's like, and we whenever we have the conversations, we try to like come up with this hypothetical solution. That's always the thing. It's like, what can we do to fix this instance? Or what is this really good? Or like, like it's just to have the conversation, because it's like, if we keep just like turning a blind eye on, let's just say, the negativity, anything, whatever it is, it's like, and saying, and then it's going to be like, you're just pushing a narrative. It's like, no, how are we going to develop if there's, like, for example, let's just say, if there's a cancer cell, you got to take out the cancer cell. Before the tumor spreads around the body, you got to take it out, And by having the discussions and working on the solution, I think sometimes, highlighting negativity is a good thing, Obviously the positive, you know what I mean? We want to know the positives too,
And that's another thing, I think people shouldn't be bashing you guys for that. I think it's awesome to have as many different types of platforms out there to showcase it. And if people don't like it, they could just unfollow or find something else. I think that's why, sometimes people try to bash us as well. Like, you guys are too, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, we want to create so many different types of platforms for different things that, like, we want someone like you guys that is the yin and yang to what we do. I'm not saying that that's what
we're the bad guys now.
No, I'm not saying that's what you guys are doing specifically, but like, if people want to talk about, like, what's that, like, why not have as many different options of platforms out there? Like, I feel like it's fine to have that. Why should we all do the same thing and talk about the same thing? That's just ridiculous. Why not try to be as creative as we possibly can and find our own niche, find our own blue ocean strategy, and just go with it?
I just think, what is more important, I think, can we all have different voices, please?
Exactly.
We're not all the same. And I think that's the problem. Like, if we all do the same kind of, like, positivity, and we're not the negative guys. We're not saying we like talking about the positives. # Black Power, BLM. But we have to have different voices, because if 100%. You think about it, a non-black person, let's just say, a non-African, will be like, they're all the same. They're all the same. They all think the same. Like, stereotype black person. But, like, let's just say someone meets Rayvo and meets Bol. It'll be like, these two are like completely like, they do two different things. Or like, they have a different perspective on certain things. And then it stops being like, let me collectively think of these people and stereotype these people and be like, no, I've spoken to people, and mate, I've met some radical guys and I've met some pretty chill guys. Like, it's good to have that. Like, we should be pushing different kind of content and being ourselves as much as possible, so then people can not just generalize Africans or black people in general. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have to have the stereotype. You know what I mean? Because I'm sick of going to events. And the hip hop song comes on and they're looking at me saying, I chucked the song on for you, indirectly looking at me like, hey, you know that, you know what I mean? Like, whenever Niggas in Paris comes on, they're looking at me to say the N-word. I don't listen to music. Yeah. I don't listen to music. I want to listen to, you know what I mean? If I was going to listen to music, I want to throw you guys off and listen to some Bon Jovi. Get a Bon Jovi, you know what I mean? But like, we should be like pushing ourselves out and putting content. I went on a little Rayvo rant, but like, I like the idea of like content creators being different, black content creators being different. Even if we conflict with each other a little bit, not like just disagreements and stuff. Yeah. It's beautiful because it shows that, like, hey, we're all different individuals, and it shows personality. You know what I mean? Yeah. And amongst ourselves, because there are like, bro, we're all different, man. Like, in the African community, bro, we disagree with each other on a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And a lot of migrant communities do experience the same thing. You know? So I think it's beautiful that like people are spreading different kind of content, you know?
No, you're right. Sorry. I hope you guys could cut that out. Surely you guys, sorry for the editor. No, but like I said, like I have no right to tell people what they can or can't create. Same as anyone else. Like if you don't like it, like I said, you could unfollow. And if it's bad enough to the point where it's actually negative enough, I'm assuming, you know, the people that work on these apps would flag it and take it out as well. So it's not your job to worry so much about it. Just unfollow it. And if it's actually that damaging, the actual companies would get rid of that content. And if it's not that bad to the point where it's getting taken out, then you're fine. You know, if you got views, if people are engaging with it, of whatever it is, that's all that matters. That's how I think of it. It's like, just let them do what they do. I don't watch the news. I make sure that my feed and is specifically designed for me. If I see something that I don't like, I just unfollow it. I don't have time to comment on it and say how upset that made me feel. I don't have time for that. If I watch something on YouTube and I don't like it, I just stop watching it. If I watch a movie and I don't like it, I just turn it off.
Yeah.
And that's just how I think everyone should live their lives. And if you're worried about what about your kids and what they watch, I'm assuming just teach them how to do it and how to use social media properly. Be more involved with how they use it as well. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to give parenting advice. I'm not a parent myself. I don't. But I would love to have kids, but I've got a nephew and younger siblings, so I try to teach them how to do it and how to be mindful of stuff and how to just be mindful of what is getting planted in your head subconsciously. That's the main thing, I think. Consciously, you see things and you think, oh yeah, that's fine, but be aware of the subconscious things that are sneaking into your conscious mind and what goes in your subconscious. I'm all about the subconscious, and I'm worried about that.
What you were saying, you mentioned a little bit, you said you're experiencing a bit of backlash. What kind of backlash are you getting? Like, I can't fathom it. I can't actually, like, what, like, you literally promote positive things people of color are doing. What kind of backlash
No, I think maybe at the start, not big back, like...
I know. Like,
yeah, but maybe, for example, people want us to promote specific, like, things that are happening that we don't promote. We don't showcase. I don't want to get into it too much, but anything that's not positive, we're not going to showcase. So anything else than that, we don't have time for it. So I think that's why people give, have backlash or give us backlash for that. But it was like, man, we appreciate the fact that you now feel like we're growing and we've got the audience that you want, but we are not going to bow down to promote or showcase or share anything that doesn't align with our main goal, which is just specifically to spread positive things and to highlight people and to share stories. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
How'd you get the Channel 31 gig?
So
what happened to Channel 31? Did they get decommissioned?
So that's what was happening. I think they were getting into a bit of a situation because they weren't sure whether people were still watching community TV show. But how I got the opportunity, I was through a friend of mine that was my mentor when I first got into actually filming properly and filming content. And I worked at a school or like a youth working place, but teaching young people from disadvantaged families or background, about media and photography and stuff like that. And at the time, I was also doing my first season of the C Network, where I was in my bedroom, had the same lights, and I had my iPhone camera. And she saw my love for asking questions. And at the time, she knew someone that worked at Channel 31, and they had this thing where you applied for a chance to have 12 episodes free to air on TV. They would produce it for you, and you just had an idea, and they pitched it to them, and they came to my work at the time, and they're like, "Man, we love what you're doing. Definitely submit, and we'll see how we go." And it was so funny. I said this earlier as well, that when they did come, I was like, man, there's no way I'm gonna get on TV. Like, why would they want me on TV? That's crazy. So I went away. That was when I went to London, actually. So I submitted it around August or just before August, and I went away to London, forgot about it completely, and then I came back, and I was like, I just didn't care. And my mentor was like, did you get an email back? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think so. And then around December, she's like, man, have you not got an email yet? And I was like, all right, I'll check. And then I checked, and I was like, it's nothing, because I got an email from them. But I was like, it's probably just a scam. And then she kept on knowing me. She kept on calling me saying, man, like, check your email, read it properly. And I was like, finally I read it, end of December. And they're like, congratulations, you got the gig. And I was like, man, that's crazy. It was like 3 months before I actually saw it. I just was in denial that they would want us or they would want me sharing these stories. But now, having the platform, we had amazing guests, and it was just a beautiful moment for everyone that was on the show, and just for us to be on TV, that was really, really awesome.
What happened to Channel 31?
So no, they were having some situations or some issues with funding because the government weren't funding them as much as they used to back in the days. I think they realized that actually it is beneficial. A lot of people still watch community TV show. A lot of people still watch Channel 31 because a lot of things are going digital.
No, but I don't see it on my TV.
Oh,
Is it? I've got an indigenous channel now.
True.
I've got an indigenous channel. Can you search up Somali Steve? Just see where's Channel 31 and are they still on TV? Yeah, I got an indigenous channel. Every now and then I watch it. You know what I mean? I hear some indigenous community talk. Look, I want to get the goss into the First Nation people.
Yeah.
See what's going on in there.
Maybe they went on the route of like all the other streamers. So I think maybe they just because they do have an app or a streaming site. So maybe that's where they are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Channel 30 is still airing. The Albanese government tried to repeal the expiry date that they had, which is the 30th of June 2024. But they're back and they're filming again. So I'll pop it up so you guys can take a read.
Awesome.
Yeah, bring it up. I'll have a look.
Yeah. Shout out to people that worked at that helped me get the gig. Shout out to Shane from Channel 31 and the crew that stayed up throughout the week to help us and edit. I actually ended up editing most of our episodes and producing it. But shout out to the Channel 31, and it was such an amazing opportunity. So,
but you know what? Yeah, Channel 31 is still airing. Yeah, okay.
yeah.
I'm surprised. I don't actually. Okay, yep. 34 and thing.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I just always thought they just went away. Because I remember Channel 31 from I used to watch soccer on the community soccer. They used to play.
Nice.
Yeah, they used to stream some of the games over there. But and just watch some random. That's where you find a bit of the hippies. That's where I'm not gonna lie. Look, the Seed Network was on Channel 31, but if you watch Channel 31 in certain hours, you find a couple loopy videos. Yeah. You find a couple. You find a couple. You know what I mean? There's like guys at 1 a.m. You know what? You're scanning the TV. It's 1 a.m. Yeah. There's people blowing bubbles. You know what I mean? They're blowing bubbles.
Yeah, they do.
It's adults.
So Channel 31 is very interesting. It's like you said, it's like that. But they just tried to give community TV shows a chance on TV. So there's a bunch of people that are just doing the most random things ever. There's a beer show, there's a fishing show where there's just the randomest things you can think of. There's these cool little shows that are actually very impactful and very
like
cool.
the Seed Network.
Yeah, like the Seed Network.
Yeah.
Or there's other because we when we went to the awards night, we got to meet a bunch of awesome people that are actually doing amazing stuff as well. There's and there's an indigenous show. There's also like a multicultural AFL channel where
There's the indigenous one.
There's an indigenous one.
They go to like the rural indigenous footy
so that
local
stuff is
community,
cool.
and you watch them play footy.
Yeah,
that's where you get the next you know what I mean, Sirioli type guys coming up. That's where they are.
So that's what I'm saying. Like they have stuff like that where it's actually really cool, but then they got like some brain dead stuff where some dude in a green screen room talking about movies and TV shows you don't really care about.
The guy. So look, there's three people that are watching that. There's three people that are watching that show. The guy that's making the show is gonna watch it when he gets home. The editor's forced to watch it because he's burning because he has to edit the video, so he has to watch it. And the third guy is some fat guy, cuz there's about 43 cuz lives by himself. He's on a fat LSD trip on a Tuesday afternoon, and he's watching his mate talk about some random sci-fi movie, cuz. It's a banger, cuz. You know what, cuz? I reckon Channel 31 should get me on, give me a green screen, and I will just talk about just a mess. Just
Man, that's what I'm saying. Like, they love to give people opportunities and chances to showcase. Like, if you had an idea or something that they think would fit, they would love that.
Guys, just give me between 1 a.m. to 2 a.m.
1
a.m., 2 a.m. on a Wednesday night. Look, just give me the most cooked up. Like 1
that
a.m.
could probably even work. Like,
I reckon they'll be like, you know what? Let's give it a go.
Give it a shot.
1 a.m., 2 a.m. Give me a green screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put trippy videos behind me. And I'm just going to go through news. I'm just going to go through the news with a straight face.
And people will watch that. Yeah, that's why, like,
there'd be someone.
That's another thing I would tell people. Like, there's always a niche for anyone, man. Like, there's a niche for every single thing.
Yeah, like, so, I don't know. Yeah, sure.
There's, because I don't know exactly the viewings, for example, for the Channel 31, you know, all the shows that we might think are cooked and all that. Like we never know the viewings and who actually watches it.
Channel
And
31 don't even do the numbers. There's no analytics.
no, but like, but there probably is. I'm assuming like back, you know, the TV, because they're actually on TV, so that's how they figure out what is actually going to stay or not by seeing the analytics. So maybe there's a show that like, man, we need this show on.
Yeah.
No matter how cooked it
Yeah.
is. This is our bread and butter.
This is the problem. People don't understand. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, get into content, do whatever. There's someone cool.
100%.
You know what I mean? No, it's true. Like, for example, like, look, like, let's just say the people that listen to Talking Trophies,
Yeah.
you're on the spectrum. You're respectfully so. You're somewhere.
Yeah.
You're not the average Joe. You're not, you know what I mean? Like, you got something like you come out here, you listen to two blokes, guys, that just talk nonsense and interview people and trip the people out that they interview, and it's a great show. Like, Talking Trophies is probably like a great show. And if this was on Channel 31, it'd give us exposure to a bunch of, that's what I want. The 43-year-old guy lives by himself.
Man, honestly, like, you guys have got proof. You guys have been doing this for a hot minute. So, like, honestly, you should, I'm not sure when they have the applications for their next season's run or whatever, but man, definitely try to give it a shot.
That's the problem with us. I think that's where we lack.
Yeah.
It's taking branding and stuff. We can't brand. I don't know how to brand this show.
Yeah.
Like, you have to brand it. Like, this
what is it that you guys want to do with this show? What is it? Do you guys want to just be talking?
I just want to interview people.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to interview. That's my goal, and Damien, I think, and as well.
Yeah.
I want to interview and obviously make it a platform for interviewing and talk about things that's happening in the world and just give a different perspective.
When you interview people, what do you want to know about the people?
Mate, haven't I been asking you some great questions for the last hour?
No, but that's great. But that's what I'm saying. It's like,
I want to know your story so someone else can watch your story and be like, oh, that's a great bloke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we've had many listeners, many guests on that people have told me, hey, I checked out their thing. I did their, like, I went on their link. Hey, I like their program that they do, stuff like that. We've had many, many times.
That's
many
awesome.
of our guests. Oh, I never knew about this person. And they're following him. You know what I mean? Like, you know what's crazy? People didn't even know about Chung.
Yeah.
He's massive now. But people didn't know him. Like, they're like, who's this guy? But then they're like, cuz he's the funniest guy. Because I remember, like, when Chung came on, because they used to know him as like people think like, we just saw him for his smile. Like, he'd have a smile, that's it. But then, like, people were like, nah, people come in the area, like, cuz I've seen Chung, the first time I seen him was on your video, bro. He's a hilarious guy. And then from there, they're like, actually watch his stuff till now, you know? So it's like, yeah, maybe someone wants to do, you know, like, for example, wants to get into film, wants to get into documentary writing. Yeah, maybe you can inspire them. You know what I mean?
No, I respect that, and that's a great answer because there's so many different types of interview shows. That's why I ask, because you know I love this on TikTok. There's these interviews that talk to producers that we don't know were producers of like our favorite songs. So like their niche is like talking to like musicians. Some other people's niches are talking to you know, like Rio and all those guys, talking to like ex-football players and talking about like the behind the scenes stuff like that. Like I love stuff like that. So it's good that, you know, your idea is to try to help people get exposed to other people and also connect them with other people, but also hopefully inspire other people.
Yeah. I like the idea of having a conversation. I like conversations. I think that maybe that comes down to the storytelling thing. I think when you spoke about storytelling and you like telling people stories, I like sitting down with people and hearing their stories.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
There's levels to it. You're in the deep end. You've gone far into storytelling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, way too far into it.
And then the next stage is actually telling the story. You know, like it's your story.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why like I'm doing more of these things because I think it's time for people want to know what we do and who I am and why I do what I do. I was like, you know, it's 4 years in the hiding in the behind the scenes, so. That's why
I'll be honest with you. I think people of color, they tend to avoid these like podcasting things. They get a bit nervous. They get a little nervous. They're like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to say, what I'm going to talk about. Yeah. Sit down next to Rayvo. I will show you the greatest. I will make you look like a hero. I will make you look like Superman. Some guy's going to look at Bol right now and go, I want to. He's my hero. Respect. He's who I look up to. Just sit down next to me and I will do it. And I
believe that.
On the reality, but coming back to it, I think they think it's like when you make content, you have to be perfect. You don't. Just be yourself. Like make mistakes, show flaws. Because I think the more flaws you show, the more someone that wants to get into content goes, you know what, let me try it. Let me make the mistake on that video. Let me make a mistake, because it's always day one or one day. That's the rule, you know?
And you're right about that, man. Honestly, I think, that's probably why I didn't do it for a while, if I was to be honest, because I was like, I need to be on point and blah, blah, blah. But, I think it's just good to just go out there. And the fact that also this is edited, so you could also, it's not live. So you could also, if you've said something wrong, that's another one I need to tell people as well, that, I've been called to have a podcast or share their story. It's like, don't stress. It's not live. It's not like you can make mistakes and they'll edit it out and fix it up for you. And, but
are we cutting out anything here?
No, everything's going good. Besides my little,
Nah, don't worry about that. That's human. That's showing you human.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, everything is fine. I love it. Like,
yeah,
you've looked after me. I'm more than happy to answer any other questions you have.
I want to know. Great. Yeah, I got another question. You're really into community work. You like working with youth, young people. What got you into community work? I always want to understand this. Like, people that have this thing where they like love just helping kids. Yeah. You know what I mean? What got you into that?
But so when I was growing up in Richmond, man, like we were very lucky. Richmond, we had so many amazing people that were in the youth work that looked after us, that taught me a lot of valuable lessons and a lot of valuable just advice and things that helped me and shaped me to the person I am. And they were there when I needed them the most, and they were there. So we had a bunch of excursions, we had a bunch of camps, and we had amazing role models. I was like, man, I want to be like that person when I grow up. They inspired me so much, and they made me who I am. I could have gone down the wrong path if they weren't around. So the impact that did for me was like, man, like there's no one back doing because they don't have them anymore in Richmond where I grew up. So I was like, man, that's why I went back and did it. I was like, man, is there still, all the programs?
Still a community center? Did you have like a community center?
We do have a youth hub,
okay.
But they don't have as much as we used to when I was growing up, because fundings have just dried out. So frustrating that is even a thing. How could funding go out for helping people or investing into people that can help people? So I was like, man, like let me start off by trying to help young people from my community, from Richmond, because it's the least I could do. Someone did that for me and made me who I am. So the least I could do is try to listen to them, see what they want. So we've done a bunch of different programs, and we continue to try to do programs. We're working on something else at the moment. We did a couple of leadership programs where we took a bunch of kids on excursions. We had a boxing program to teach kids self-defense, but mainly to teach them to be trainers and to get jobs after. We did a film course in Richmond. We were involved in a soccer program as well. One of our soccer coaches, he ran a soccer program, so we did a video about that. And yeah, we're going to try running out some more ideas. But just how it started off was just someone did that for us. And I was like, man, you don't understand how much that saved my life. So I want to try to do that for these kids and try to save their lives and also keep them busy. So if you heard what I said, I did all these different programs just to keep them occupied when they were on school holidays or when they had soccer, when they had football for 3 days a week. Now they can add in a boxing session, or they could add in a fitness session, or they could add in a film course or content creation course, or a leadership program, which we did that on weekends. So we just finished our 8-week program it was a partnership. It was a friend of mine who has his own organization called Traxi Consultants. I can't even speak. It's so late. Consultancy.
Yeah. Could you quickly fact check? Sorry to interrupt, but could you fact check youth success correlation with free time, or like extracurricular activities? Search that up while you're speaking.
Yeah, that's self-explanatory. Like,
so it's just this is the intention of the program.
The intention is to never have them be bored.
Yep.
But also to expose them to things that they will never get an opportunity to. So that's why for the youth leadership program that we just did with Peruse from Traxi, our goal was to take them on excursions to the beach. We took them to art exhibitions. We took them to all these different places on weekends, specifically on Saturdays. And yeah, taught them leadership skills. We had different programs. And that was just to like, okay, they go to school Monday to Friday, but then also instead of just doing nothing on the Saturday, let's take them to the beach on the Saturday.
So correlation between youth and youth success and free time, short and sharp statistics.
Yeah, so 77% of 77% of successful entrepreneurs say they discovered their passion in free time activities during youth in structured free time activities. 48% more likely to attend college. Teens who spend 6+ hours a day on passive screen time show lower GPA and reduced well-being. Balance is key. Youth with moderate. Yeah, so because you speak about these programs that you do now, we had the same things growing up. We had a community center where we used to go to organization called Do the Gala. I think they changed their name to Co-Health now. Yeah. But they used to have a program. They used to take us to Luna Park, take us on excursions, take us to the beach, teach us how to canoe, rock climbing.
See how important that is? What else do you remember when you were growing up? You remember those activities. You remember
Yeah.
how good those felt.
Yeah.
And you remember how important those was with connecting with people, learning new skills, all that stuff. I remember those like it was yesterday. That's why I was like, man, if we could do that to those young people, let's try to do that.
Yeah. It's valuable. I think because literally me and my friend, we always like reflect. And my friend always says this one line. He goes, bro, we had the best upbringing ever.
Yeah.
Like he goes, we had an amazing upbringing. Like we flew through like a lot of things that could have got us like going massively astray and somehow had so much fun doing it. And we're like best friends and we became brothers. And I'm friends with all these guys that like we had memories from like when we were like 7 to like 18 and all these little community centers and all came from the community center, you know, and these guys had programs for us. We used to, if kids want to be a little bit cheeky, they used to tell us off. Had a couple of OGs telling us off, hey, what are you doing? Hey, come back here. No. And I was like, oh my God. And that's why, and like, I think we all have this love for like, I continue still, I always do little side quests and I always like doing activity and stuff. I think it's because from my youth, because we used to have like all these activities. Yeah. And it's so important, I think, for like young kids to like find an extracurricular activity. Just try whatever. Play a violin. Play the piano, do some rock climbing, like do something, try golf. Like do something different that's weird that you would never think of doing randomly and see if you like it because you never know until you try.
And honestly, that you're right. Like, if they don't have role models or they don't have exposure to these things, they're going to find it elsewhere, other than social media, which is so horrible because they're going to compare themselves with what they don't have. And then if they try to look for role models, they look through music or movies, and who knows how positive that is or what the actual true intentions of this person who's playing this character is. So I think it's so good to keep them busy because they can only focus on one thing at a time. Like, if you keep them busy all the time, they're not going to be focusing on like how to drill or how to do something bad or how to go do this and do that. I think they just so focused on like, how can I do this activity to help my team win in this leadership program or blah, blah, blah. That's what we try to do. We try to keep them just busy and occupied.
Yeah.
And it worked for me. It kept me busy. And by the time I had free time, I was so knackered and tired and just wanted to chill at home and hang out.
You come home 7, have dinner, in bed by 9, 10. You're wrecked. You're gone because I went to school and then I went to the homework club. After the homework club, I played some indoor soccer or played at fake grass. After that, I came home around 8:30. I was at 8 o'clock. Mum made me something small, you know, like a little dinner. And I'm gone. I can watch TV for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I'm yawning already. Yeah. And I'm in bed.
And that's why, you know, school holidays as well, that's a very important part that we try to focus on mainly as well, and how we could try to fill in school holidays with activities and with stuff like that. We also did because I skateboard, so we did in my school holiday program, we ran skateboarding programs on a couple of days a week on school holidays. And it was crazy because skateboarding, you know, it's dangerous, but I was like, man, I want to expose them to all these skills, and just keep them busy. That was that main thing. It's like, man, as long as we could have an idea that would block out that day for them to put in their calendar to, you know, spend time with us, that's what we want to do, and that's what we did.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's amazing what you're doing as well. It's the fact that it's very admirable that, like, you know what I mean, you enjoyed that and you're like, you know what, I want these kids to experience something as similar to me, and it will definitely have an impact on the kids, you know what I mean? It's not about, you know, I think everyone, when they get into community work, they think, I'm going to save every kid in the world, but like, you know, you can save like good 4, and those good 4 could be the prime minister. Those good 4 could be the next financial advisor for the government. Then the next, you know, 4 could be the biggest entrepreneur coming up, you know?
And when I do these programs, I don't think of it like that. I don't think of like, I want to save you. I think it was like, I want to show you what else is there. I want to show you like how amazing the world is, how awesome it is to actually try be this or show you true colors. That's like our main goal with this programs, and, you know, showcasing. I think, seeing is believing. That's what we want to do. Like, that's our main thing. It's like, taking them to these beautiful places. Like, look at this beautiful beach. Look at this beautiful house. You could live there one day. Look at this beautiful person who created this art or created this project or created this. You could do that one day. We just want to show them, like, open your eyes to this. That's all we want to do. We don't want to say, hey, I want to save you or I want to do this. That's how I think about it.
I was going to, just before we wrap up, actually, this question came to my mind. When you went to London, was that for content or was it holiday?
Yeah.
And how was that? And what's the difference between London and here for content-wise?
So my first London trip was I went to go interview someone specific. I went to interview a friend of mine. Her name was Ayul Minyok. She's a model from Perth. Then moved to Australia. I moved to Melbourne and then moved up to London. And I thought that was awesome. I was like, that was the first time I've heard someone from female South Sudanese, first of all, to leave their family to go and do work that I knew and I could get in contact with, go and live abroad. I was like, that is so inspiring. Like, I want to go and see what that was about. So that was my main objective. So, I wanted to go and specifically interview her, which I ended up doing. It was a beautiful interview. It was awesome. Then I also interviewed a bunch of other creators that lived there as well. But no, it was awesome. It was mainly for her, just to, like, see, like, man, look at us. We're both Sudanese in London. We're from Australia. Like, this is wild. I couldn't believe it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And do you think what's your comparison to, like, how content's made over there? Did you get to see, like, did you get exposure to, like, other content creators there and stuff?
Well, my content wasn't, like, I just went there specifically to, like, journal, like, her journey. So I didn't see or connect with other content creators or anything. When I wasn't with her filming or trying to, because we had a bunch of meetings before we actually did the thing, I was just enjoying. It was more of like a pleasure, to be there, and then had main focus on the interview. So I didn't really pay attention too much to the content there, but, like, they're on the map now. A lot of big content creators are coming from the UK that look like us. A lot of Somali content creators are killing it right now.
Why'd you point at me? I'm Eritrean.
Sorry. A lot of Somali content creators that are making a killing right now, and Richards as well.
Bro, Eritreans are on top. Bro, can we take a moment, actually? I want to take a moment to acknowledge there's an Eritrean out here that's worth 132 million. There's an Eritrean that's worth 132 million that just got signed to Liverpool, Alexander Isak.
Yeah.
You see, like, come on. Look, you guys can make your content. You can have your athletes. I'm not trying to get some comparison thing going here. But an Eritrean just signed for Liverpool for 132 million. So you can take your content creators, Somalia. You can take your footy players and your basketball players, South Sudan. But Eritrea has the most expensive signing in Liverpool history.
And that's what I love. If he was to have a trace of Australia, I would have made that. I would have not stopped posting about that.
That would be
so
hectic.
inspiring.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Eventually, we'll do. Obviously, we'll go worldwide and create content about people overseas. But I wish it was Australian. It would be amazing to make a post about that. It would be amazing for the Eritrean community. But
it's a big win. It's a big win for us.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a big win.
Yeah, we were so close to getting a pseudo in the Prem, but hopefully soon.
Yeah, soon.
Yeah.
You know what it is? The Eritreans got a bit of... we're more technical players.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What do you think of the Somali soccer players?
Somali soccer players will win the Ballon d'Or the day they learn how to pass. I swear.
Did you see that? It was a TikTok. I think you guys are qualifying at the moment, and there's like I don't know who you guys are versing.
One of the boys is playing there.
Yeah, and then there was like a clear passing opportunity, and the guy just... Did you see that video? Man, it is so funny. What do they say? Wallahi, I have no options.
Wallahi, I couldn't pass. Now, shout out Somalis. Something big coming up soon for Talking Trophies as well.
We used to talk about... This is off topic now, talking about Somalis. We used to play football as well. That was my little... getaway out of work. There's Richmond, man. That's nothing but Richmond, man. Richmond they've put so much money into the community, and they've got a beautiful futsal pitch now. And we used to go there all the time. That was beautiful, man. It was cool, great community. And then all the boys from North Melbourne, Fulham, Carlton started to come down, and we were fine at first, and then it just became it was horrible. It ended up being like 10 different teams, arguments completely, no passing.
Yeah,
So we just
there's a
have
thing.
to-
There's a thing. Yeah, I think the day we learn how to pass, we will see success.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a promising. I'm pretty sure Somali, the guy that plays for Malmo. Do you know that winger?
Yeah, the winger. Yes, this
Is
is
he
Somali.
Somali?
Yeah, he's a winger.
Yeah,
Taha,
yeah.
Taha Ali. I don't know if that's his name. I just thought
Yeah.
maybe yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a baller.
Yeah.
He doesn't pass.
Does he
He
know pass?
doesn't pass.
Yeah. If he man, because Brian was looking. Someone was
They
looking.
were looking
for
at him. Yeah.
So-
I think the day we learn how to pass as Africans, we'll see
Yeah.
success. But bro, let's wrap it up here.
What a great
What a-
way to end it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get roast. I'm gonna get.
I'll make a
don't
clip.
come for me, guys.
I'm putting a clip. I'm gonna put a clip just so everyone can just copy. Dissing Somali soccer players. they don't want to pass. But thanks for jumping on, man.
No, thank you. Pleasure.
Bro, I hope you enjoyed the interview. It was a very wholesome one. I think it was a very positive, and I think someone's going to get inspired definitely from this conversation. And even if they don't get inspired, they're going to enjoy listening to this conversation.
100%. I'm
Yeah.
inspired. So if no one watches this, get inspired. I'm inspired by what you had to say and being here. I'm very inspired. So you've already got
What's
one.
next?
What's next?
What's next?
What's next for us is we're gonna start shooting Raising Daughters, our last installment of our Raising Generations documentary. So we're looking for people who have got an experience of raising daughters, who are willing to share what that was like, and to help anyone that might be going through that, who might be might have a daughter on the way and want to learn how they did it and any tips and tricks. But yeah, that's our next thing. And then just try to figure out what other programs we could do, what other programs young people need in the estate.
Yep.
But focusing on filming, back to filming.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Good luck with everything you do. Thanks for jumping
appreciate
on.
it.
Deeves and Davies, make sure to check out the Seed Network. We'll put the links below.
Appreciate
Somebody,
it,
if you got
guys.
anything to say.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Somali Steve, I still can't believe that's your name. I love it, man. Best name out there.
Done. Stay humble. Faith.